Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another surprise episode of American Soccer Quick Kicks. I'm your host, David Wright. You call it a surprise. Maybe it's not. I told you last night I was going to try to get back to this quickly. We are in the week running up to MLS Cup 2025, where we will see Miami host the Vancouver Whitecaps. Last night, I gave you a little bit of a rundown on Vancouver and a little bit of their club history and kind of what the context is for their appearance here in this Cup final. And I wanted to do the same also for Inter Miami. So Miami, when the league started in 1996, they had a club in Miami. It was the Miami Fusion. They were around for the first 5 years of the league's existence. And so they were the Miami Fusion was a founding club. They folded after 5 years, and along with the Tampa Bay Mutiny. And so they went a long time without a club in Miami at all. And then we had David Beckham join the league in 2007. Beckham joining the league took us out of the first era of MLS. But before this ushered in, they created a new rule called the DP rule, the designated player rule, which basically allowed them to be able to break out of the strict salary cap for a certain roster spot. And that's now expanded to 3 DPs. And actually it's gotten a little more complicated than that. But the designated player rule was just a mechanism for loosening up the strict salary cap restrictions, which allowed Beckham to come to the league, which they considered to be important enough to change the rules to get him here. And it's only since then that we've seen this rapid expansion for the league, and now we're up to 30 clubs. Part of the compensation package for David Beckham was that he was promised the opportunity to own a franchise in the league upon his retirement. That was an enormously good deal for David Beckham, and it really hurt the league because he played for the Galaxy for, I think, 5 years, played through 2012. He played an additional season for PSG, and then he retired from playing. And then he comes back, he puts an ownership group together, and he's like, I'm ready for a club now. And they ended up placing it in Miami, which is where he wanted it to be. And so in 2020, MLS returned to Miami, or you could say Miami returned to MLS with a brand new club. I don't believe they claim the history of the Miami Fusion or anything like that, but David Beckham, of course, being the face of the ownership group. And you can say that the existence of Inter Miami is the David Beckham legacy. So he has had a permanent, ongoing impact on the fate and the destiny of this league. And so they started play in 2020. They joined the league same year as Nashville, and they struggled, and they also got in a little bit of trouble. They were playing fast and loose with the roster rules, and they faced sanctions for that. And then there was a question and there was always a rumor that Beckham was going to be able to get Messi to come to MLS. And then Messi was changing clubs. The first time in his life he was leaving Barcelona. Miami was in trouble. I don't know if Miami had been in a better spot, if Messi would have come sooner or not. I don't know. He ends up playing a couple of seasons at PSG, but then it all ends up in 2020, and Messi comes and joins. I should say it all lined up in 2023. Messi comes and joins the team that year. So so it's had a very short history, and the first 3 years, 2020 through 2022, they struggled. We're not one of the better teams at all. In fact, we're faced with a lot of sanctions. It all turns around in 2023 when Messi joined the club, and immediately they win Leagues Cup. His debut match with Miami was, I believe, the opening match of Leagues Cup that year. And they go all the way and take the trophy. That's like the first thing that happens. As soon as Messi joins, boom, they win Leagues Cup, which has them playing in CONCACAF the following year. And they don't do well. They get bounced out, I think, by Monterrey in the quarterfinals. They come back 2024. Last year, Messi's second season with the club. They've added former Barcelona teammates. They lift the supporter shield. Now they have Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba and Luis Suarez, all former teammates of Messi that all played together at Barcelona 2014 through 2017. During that time, Neymar was there too. Barcelona, historically one of the strongest clubs in the world. They all kind of reunited, the Barcelona boys, in Miami, and they are able to win the Supporters Shield, have the best record in the regular season, and then they come rolling into the playoffs and they get bounced out early in the first round at the group stage by Atlanta, who was one of the worst teams and actually was the road team in the play-in match. So they were in 9th place in the table. They're going up against Messi's boys, the Supporters Shield winners, and beat them in Miami and bounced them out. It's one of the biggest upsets in league history. And that didn't sit well with Miami. That they were on a mission after that to get MLS Cup. You know, they had Leagues Cup already. They had Supporter Shield. They wanted Leagues Cup. They go to CONCACAF on the strength of this Supporter Shield win. They go to CONCACAF Champions Cup this year, 2025. I mentioned it last night. They faced Vancouver in the semifinals and lost, I believe it was 5-1 on aggregate. So they really got beat there. So after losing out there, they had to put all their focus on MLS Cup. And this was the trophy. This is the thing. And getting eliminated early by Atlanta last year really kind of motivated them and focused them. And so that they're on a mission. They're on a mission to add to their trophy case. They, you know, if they can get this, it's going to, I guess, put a punctuation mark on the Messi era. This will be three seasons for Messi with 3 trophies: Leagues Cup in 23, Supporter Shield in 24. And if they can get the job done on Saturday, they'll be able to add MLS Cup to the trophy case. So a couple of folks we got to keep an eye on in case you've missed the story. A couple of those Barcelona boys have announced their retirement. Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets. This will be the final match of their careers. Stellar careers, Hall of Famers, incredible, and they're going out in a final. It's going to be bittersweet to see them play their final match. Silvetti, I wanted to mention him. He's the 19-year-old Argentinian who's come on and's kind of taken Suarez's spot in the starting lineup and has provided a lot of spark to the attack, and he's shining brightly. This kid is like, he just came out of nowhere. He's actually from Messi's hometown, I think, in Argentina. Watch him while you can. I don't think he's going to be in this league very long at all. And he is adding a lot to the attack. I don't have Allende on here. He's the other winger, but the two of them seem to be all Miami needs in the attack. It's allowing Messi to drop deeper into midfield. You've got those two guys running up forward on either side of them, and they're just flying high. I don't see how they're going to get stopped, but that's it. There's not much history to Miami. They just joined in 2020, and they didn't really get started until Messi came along in 2023. That's going to be it for me. We've got MLS Cup Saturday, 2:30 Eastern. It's going to be on Fox. It's going to be on Apple. We've got Thomas Mueller versus Leo Messi. This is what's going to happen. We're going to have a first-time winner. Like, neither Vancouver nor Miami has ever won the Cup. Both teams are managed by first-year managers. Javier Mastriano from Miami, this is his first managing job ever in his career. And then you got Jasper Sorensen, who's come into Vancouver on a year where they were on the market and the owner's trying to sell them, has stepped in and somehow galvanized this team and has gotten them all the way to the final. I just learned today, maybe this is old news, I just learned today that the owner has taken the team off the block. He's not offering it for sale anymore. The success of this team this year has saved the fate of the club. The owner's not going to sell, but he is looking for more investors. He's looking to add to the ownership group. He wants to get an infusion of cash, I think, but he's not looking to get rid of the club. And so that's already a victory for Vancouver. Anyway, that's going to be it. That's Inter Miami. Miami versus Vancouver, Messi versus Mueller. This is going to be a fantastic match. If anybody can beat Miami, it's probably Vancouver. I'm just going by the CONCACAF result from earlier this year. So anyway, I hope that you will watch some soccer with me, and I'll talk to you next time.